Sean Strickland is such an anomaly because in the ways of PC culture and the way it is pushed in modern day society, you gotta love Sean because he pushes the envelope of this PC stuff. And I get it, respect each other, have honor, those kinds of things. But at times, or nearly more times than often, they like to push political correctness so much when I think a lot of the things in life go way past mean words. A lot of the atrocities in life go way past mean words. And that's what it is. But having said that, he brought up a good point in one of his interviews where he talks about jujitsu and it being complete BS. Do I agree with that statement? As someone who likes the sport of jujitsu, who has competed in jujitsu, who enjoys the feeling of striving towards being better and working with a coach to get to that spot. I half agree. I half disagree. Because yeah, MMA and street fighting and jiu-jitsu are all very different rule sets. You have different rules in jiu-jitsu, you have different rules in MMA. Then on the street you have absolutely no rules. So before you go train in jiu-jitsu for 10 years and get like a purple belt or something like that and then go out onto the street and attack someone thinking that they're just going to do this one-on-one thing and they're not going to pull out a weapon or they're not going to have some friends who have some blunt objects that are going to handle that stuff, where you're going to walk onto someone's property and they're not going to just pull out a weapon on the property. You got to guess again. That's probably a given. But especially in MMA, we've seen guys like Crone Gracie who tried butt scooting in the octagon. And let me tell you, mixed martial arts, butt scoots never work. In the grappling aspects, you got to be on top at all times. And that's why wrestling mixed with jiu-jitsu submissions is probably some of the best grappling that you could have in MMA or in a street fight. Because the same aspect kind of goes like if you're on the street and you can hip toss someone and you're on top, you got to get away while they're kind of trying to get the wind back in their head. If you pull guard and you smack your head on the pavement and end up killing yourself, um, then yeah, you kind of need to check what you're using on the streets. But I do agree that there's this marketing around jujitsu, like it's the ultimate fighting form, like it's the end all be all of combat sports. And at one point, when you saw Crone Gracie, use that technique on current MMA versus what Hoist was doing ages ago before anyone had seen jujitsu or knew what he was doing. There's a lot of murky sales tactics behind the sport that should be addressed so people know what they're getting into a little bit more. But I don't want to call the whole thing BS. I don't want to say that the whole thing's not worth it or the whole thing's not going to help you build character or at least a sense of responsibility. Or at least I can speak for myself. You know, I always view it as the ultimate accountability taker because you get smashed. You know, sometimes you can be smashing someone else and they will pull out a completely dirty move because like the one thing I don't like is when people say, "Oh, leave your ego at the door." Everyone brings their ego to the door. Everyone brings their ego to the mat most of the time, dude. I just don't like. I don't like it when people talk about that, like, "Oh, leave your ego at the door." Those guys that leave their ego at the door are the ones who are going to get hurt by the guys who left their ego at the door. Because 90% of people who walk through that door are going to try and exploit the no ego rule and think that if they bring their ego, it gives them an edge. Absolutely false. I'm saying that right there. If anyone wants to get in jiu-jitsu, bring your ego to it, but bring a healthy bit. But also just don't start street fights. Also in jiu-jitsu, it is about strength. I don't care what anyone tells you. You can know all the techniques you want, but if you don't have the strength to pull those off, I'm sorry, but the bigger, stronger guy is going to smash you 10 times out of 10. So when Sean Strickland overall just says that jiu-jitsu is complete BS, I half agree because there's some salvageable stuff, but then there's some things that are just complete lies that, if you know, you know. That's all I got to say about that. And I say that as somebody who loves the sport of jiu-jitsu in its purest form. But when you know the sport in its purest form, you know that it's probably not the best thing you want to do for MMA in the modern day because people see all through it. Peace out. I'm glad Sean Strickland brought this up in an interview because then I could finally catch one of the train cars to give my piece on this subject because I missed the Crone Gracie train. But I will see y'all next time. Have a great one.